In 1994, Caracas, Venezuela, became the backdrop for one of the most shocking cases a country had ever seen. At the center of it was 18-year-old girl, Cibell Naime. Cibell was of Lebanese descent, living in Caracas with her strict father, Shauki, her mother, and two older brothers. Her father ran the house with an iron hand. He physically disciplined the kids, forbade dating until they finished college, banned sleepovers, and would not let them leave the house without permission. But Cibel often rebelled, sneaking out to see friends or do as she pleased. She also felt isolated. She begged her father for a pet cat, but he refused. Still, she would not let that stop her. One day, she spotted an ad in a newspaper from Miguel Tawil, a successful lawyer who also ran a side business selling pets. Cibel called him, pretending to have the money to buy this cat, and arranged to buy a white Turkish Angora. But she did not have a dime. Instead, she stole one of her father's paychecks, forged his signature, and handed it to Miguel outside of her school. She got the cat, brought it home, and lied to her father, saying it had been a gift from a friend. But when Shauki discovered the missing check, he exploded with threats of severe punishment. Panicked, Cibel tried to get the check back. She called Miguel, begged him to return it, even offered to pay him in cash later. He refused, saying the check was already deposited. Desperate, she phoned again, but this time pretending to be a woman named Adriana. She asked to buy two dachshund dogs. Miguel agreed, suggesting they meet at his home. When Cibel arrived, she was greeted by Miguel's mother, Mirtelina, who even offered her coffee. Miguel's 19-year-old assistant, Juan Carlos Gonzalez, was also there. But when Miguel entered, he recognized Cibel immediately. She claimed Adriana was her aunt and that she was only picking the dogs for her. She had arrived by taxi with no money to pay. Still, Miguel agreed to drive her to meet with this so-called aunt. Juan came along. On the road, Cibel pulled a pistol she had stolen from her father's office, a weapon he kept for security as he was a wealthy doctor. She pointed it at Miguel. He tried to wrestle it away, but in the struggle the gun went off. Miguel was killed instantly. Juan panicked, begging her to let him live, but Cibel told him she was sorry. She could not let him go after what he had seen, so she shot him too. Two lives ended in a moment at the scene. Cibel calmly stepped out of the car as if nothing happened, walked away, took a taxi home, and left the bodies behind. Back at home, her father reported the missing check to the bank, which revealed that it had been deposited by none other than Miguel Tawil. Miguel's family, meanwhile, had already called the police, reporting both Miguel and Juan missing after leaving with a girl. Guards later spotted Miguel's abandoned car. Inside, officers found the bodies of Miguel and Juan. Forensics confirmed that both had been killed by gunshot, and DNA traces pointed to a third person. That is according to reports from the Senamec Forensic Science Office in the city of Maracaibo. DNA traces pointed to a third person. Investigators first suspected organized crime, but surveillance footage, phone records, and testimonies from Miguel's family all led to one name: Cibell Naime. At the same time, the Naime family left for a vacation in Orlando, Florida. When they returned, Shauki confronted Cibell about the stolen check and beat her, leaving her bruised with a black eye. But soon after, police knocked on their door. Shauki assumed they were there to discuss the stolen check. He tried to smooth things over, answering the door and saying he would not press charges for that. Instead, officers informed him they were not investigating the check, they were investigating a double homicide. They demanded that the entire family come to the Baruta police station for questioning. After hours of interrogation, only one suspect remained, Cibell. She was arrested for the murders of Miguel Tawil and Juan Carlos Gonzalez. Her father was also charged, but he was charged with aggravated assault for beating her, something unrelated to the murders. The next day, both Cibell and Shauki appeared before Magistrate Antonio Ripoles at the Palace of Justice in Caracas. Their attorney, Gonzalo Corro, represented them, while prosecutor Jose Luis Tamayo prepared the charges. Miguel's father, Antonio Tawil, a lawyer himself, joined the prosecution team. Cibell was charged with 2 counts of aggravated homicide. Shauki faced aggravated assault. The court quickly arranged a deal for Shauki. Judge Cristobal Colmenares placed him in a diversion program requiring weekly check-ins for 6 months. He avoided jail time. Cibell, however, was ordered to remain in custody. She was sent to the Los Teques jail. In 1996, her trial began. Judge Colmenares found her guilty on both murder charges and sentenced her to 30 years in prison, the maximum penalty in Venezuela, though both sentences ran concurrently. Over time, Cibell was moved to the San Juan de los Moros Penitentiary for disciplinary issues. In 2005, Supreme Court Judge Michael Moreno granted her work release privileges. During that time, she became pregnant by a prison guard. The child was raised by her mother. The guard later resigned and fled to Bogota, Colombia. Authorities considered this a violation, but instead of sending her back, Cibell slipped away to Lebanon with her family. Lebanon had no extradition treaty with Venezuela, so she remained out of reach. In the early 2000s, Miguel's father Antonio, who had tirelessly fought to keep Cibell incarcerated, died of a heart attack. With his passing, pressure to keep her behind bars faded. By 2006, Cibell was released under supervision. In 2022, Judge Moreno dismissed her case entirely. Her father, Shauki, passed away in Lebanon in 2020, also from a heart attack. Today, Cibell lives in Lebanon. She works as a janitor and occasionally as an art teacher. In recent years, she has made appearances online and, as of now, she has been doing TikTok, where she openly discusses her case. Once her followers asked about the cat that started it all, though Turkish Angora. Cibell confirmed it had lived with her family and eventually died of old age. This case raises haunting questions. How does a lonely girl escalate from sneaking out of the house to committing a double murder? And what role do a family pressure, strict control, and rebellion play in strategies like this? For Cibell, her life is far removed from the courtroom in Caracas, but the shadows of 1994 never truly faded. They haunt her forever. This has been Strawberry Ink. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I wish the best of luck to those fighting for independence from dictatorship in Venezuela. Shall the troops do their job? And until next time, have a good rest of your day.